I was about to ask you about just the experience right now. Like, how you feel about that?
It's different. You're single.
Yeah.
You're dating. You meet someone for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
It would be naive for me to think that you don't talk to other people or have someone to.
The more I watch this show, the more I realize why these boys are on this show. Because at the end of the day, some of the decisions that they are making don't make any sense. The idea that Chad can see that is compatible with Paige but refuses to pay her the attention or refuses to acknowledge her in an attempt to be defiant to his mom doesn't make sense to me. And then Joshua needs to open up to these girls and he needs to be honest. I don't get what he thinks he's doing by refusing to tell them that he's an athlete. What are we aiming for? What are we trying to hide? Make it make sense? Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Somebody's Wife, Season 1, Episode 7. So Chad went on his first date with Paige. We all know he didn't want to go on a date with Paige. At the end of the day, he didn't. He would have preferred to have gone with Jasmine, but obviously his mom said she wanted Paige. If he were using his head and not, little Chad, he would understand that Paige, at the end of the day, on paper, makes more sense for him. If you're looking at it analytically and intellectually, she makes more sense. She is just as mature as he is. She has her own career. She has her own goals. They like the same thing. Yes, maybe it might be a bit too familiar, but at the end of the day, if you're looking at it as a complete package, she makes more sense. The problem is with Jasmine, she's more that naughty thing that you want, but you're not allowed to get. And I think because of his rebellious nature, in the sense that he doesn't want anything that his mom wants, he's going to lose an amazing girl just because he's being a jackass. That's my opinion. So on this date, they spoke about love languages because Paige asked him, what is your love language? And he sort of said, it's physical touch. Every man is going to say physical touch. I'm yet to hear a man who says no to physical touch. I'm sorry. Every man, if you ask them their love language, at the top of their list is physical touch. So he said physical touch and words of affirmation, which makes sense, especially if he didn't grow up with his mom and he has issues with his mom, and he feels, she doesn't know him and stuff. So words of affirmation, I think it makes sense. Paige said, for her, it's quality time. And then he decided that quality time was one of his, qualities that he liked as well, his love languages. So that made sense. And then he slightly opened up. I think had his mother not picked Paige for him, he would eventually have opened up to her. But because his mom has insisted that Paige is the best for him, he's going to try and rebel and go against that just because he wants something different. He doesn't want to agree with whatever his mom wants for him. And so the question becomes, why did you come on the show with your mom if you know that you and your mom have a lot of issues that you need to deal with? At the end of the day, they should have gone to Ayana Fix My Life first, and then after that come onto the show, because at the moment they're not helping each other in any way. In the morning, they have breakfast. So you have, you've got Katina there. She's with Chad. And he's chopping up this meat for breakfast. And the mom is sort of moving around and is being very awkward because even when Paige came and tried to talk to him, he shut her down. And personally, what I think is he's trying to leave the door open for Jasmine. He doesn't want anything to upset Jasmine, or in his head, he's got it that Jasmine is the one for him. And personally, I don't think outside of physical attraction, there's anything substantial there. I don't see anything that could lead to a long-term relationship. So I don't get what he sees in her outside of the fact that she's attractive. You have Jasmine come down. She helps him use the coffee maker, and you can see that his mother is not liking that. She is sensing that something is not right, and it's a pity that he doesn't have it within him to tell his mother that, after everybody else went away, I had this conversation with Jasmine and I feel like Jasmine is the person for me. That way everybody else stops wasting their time. Lauren comes down. Lauren, for me personally, is just there to be on TV. That's it. She's just there to be on TV. You can tell she doesn't like this man. She doesn't have any attraction to him, but she's just there to be on TV, and he is keeping her there because otherwise they don't want to appear as though they're ageist, and so they've kicked her out because of her age, but she's already checked out. So his only opportunities are either Lauren Jasmine, who wants to win, or Paige, who has the qualities that he needs in a wife, the qualities that his mom sees, but he is refusing to see because at the end of the day, that would agree with his mom, and he's not happy with his mom because she kicked out his first choice. So they eventually sit down for breakfast. And while they're at breakfast, you have Lauren ask, what qualities are you looking for in a partner? And the first person, she asks is the mother. And the mother sort of says, she doesn't want someone who's twerking all night. And she wants someone who's faith-based. And you have, Chad answer completely different. And that shows you that his goal there is just to be rebellious. It's not to look for a partner, but it's to be rebellious and go for anything and everything that goes against what his mother wants for him in a partner. And my question still remains, why did he bring her on the show if he knew that he was never going to listen to her? Or did he expect her to suddenly listen to him and give him every single thing that he wanted? What is it? So his mum then becomes emotional because, the girls sort of ask her, what qualities are you looking for in a partner? And when she starts sort of explaining what she's looking for, you have Chad say, this is the first time I've heard of what my mother wants in a partner. I'm happy for her and I hope she finds it. And she became emotional because I think for her, whatever conversation happened for him to go and live with his dad, whatever he did, whatever happened, he still holds it against her. And this is why I'm saying that at the end of the day, I feel like he should have gone to Ayana Fix My Life first, to have Ayana fix his life, and then he would have come onto the show. Because at the moment, being on the show is not helping him in any way. It's just complicating things, and he's going to miss out on an amazing partner just because he's still in this rebellious stage whereby he doesn't want to listen to anything that his mother has to offer because he has this idea of what he wants in a partner. He's already told, the girls that, he told Paige actually that he's never brought anyone home. They then talked about conflict management and stuff. And then he spoke about the fact that, he likes to get his own back. He likes to feel like he's got his revenge. And the girls were taken aback. Even on her own, you could tell that Jasmine, her back went up. And it's like, so what do you think is going to happen? If he's showing you these qualities now, what makes you believe that suddenly, once you're in a relationship with him, he's going to change? For her to say he's a red flag, yes, he is a walking red flag because of how he behaves and how he treats his mom. He is a walking red flag. But still, you're insistent that you want him, you want to win. I feel like Jasmine just wants to leave the show as the winner, not because she has feelings for this man. The more I watch this show, the more I get an understanding of who these boys are, because you have Jasmine go for a chat with Chad, and you can see Chad is excited. I think Chad likes Jasmine because he's stimulated in a physical sense, in the sense that he's attracted to her, he finds her sexy, and she gets him excited. I don't think there's any depth to them as a couple, and I think the two of them can see this and notice this, and so the idea that they continue to push this looks like a hookup. It doesn't look like something that's going to last a couple of years or even lead down the road to sort of marriage. I don't see it, and I don't get why he continues to entertain her. The fact that he's trying to keep her sweet and trying to tell her the things he feels she needs to hear, I don't quite get. So I really hope Chad uses his head and not his manhood, because at the end of the day, he's going to make the worst decision. I think as much as they have things in common, I don't think they are at the same stage in life. I don't think so. I think Jasmine still needs to do a lot of work. Especially she needs to settle down and find a job and stop talking about, I've just come back from from Europe after a couple of years. You then have Shambrielle have a conversation with Joshua. So she revealed, about herself and the fact that her mom was a single mom. And she really goes in depth, which allows Joshua to see a different side of her. I think she wanted him to open up, and she knew that the only way she could get him to open up was to open up herself and telling him something sensitive. That way it would be intriguing for him. You had Joshua go and have a conversation with his aunt Oma, and then he decided to have a date with Shambrielle. I thought it was cute. I really did. I think the girls, though, are being too judgmental. The fact that she almost got the egg from how he fed her the fruit. And then they had this conversation about their goals and where they see themselves. They spoke about past relationships. And so I don't know. I really don't remember some of the other girls. The problem is you get to see someone and then you wait a week or two and by then you've already forgotten about the previous people that you've seen. So it makes it difficult to sort of have sort of a consistent sort of narrative of who everyone is. Do I think they make a cute couple? I think Shambrielle is trying. I really do. But I don't know whether Joshua is really that into her, because I thought he was into Lexi as well, and I thought he was into Tamaris, but it seems he's all over the place, and whoever he's with at that moment is the person that he wants to be with. He spoke about his trust issues. He still hasn't told him that he's a professional football player. And it's like, if he's that professional, the girls by now should know who he is, though, or should have heard about him. But I don't know a lot of sports people, so they could be just naive like me. So you have the girls having a conversation with Miss Katina, and they're sort of deciding, what are we doing for supper? Are we preparing a meal? Have we assigned tasks? What's happening? And then out of the blue, you have Chad walk out, and he's arranged a date for himself and Lauren. And so the date is a spa day, which we've already seen from the other groups have spa days. So they go for this spa date, and Lauren, for me, appears to be there just for the numbers. That's the impression that I get. I think there was no spark at all, or I think something went wrong with the other girl. This is why they kept Lauren, and maybe they didn't want to seem ageist, as I've said. So they go for this spa day, and then they have a conversation where, well, they sit down afterwards and they're sort of chatting. She's sort of asking him, how long was your last, well, when was your last relationship and how long was it? And so he says his relationship was a year long. And so she asks him, what was the goal or what was the drive behind that relationship? And so what do I think? I think the producers are forcing this connection. That's what I'm going to say. I think the producers are forcing this connection. I think they all know that, he really likes Jasmine and is interested in pursuing things with Jasmine. And I think this is why they keep pushing him to have conversations with the other girls, because they're trying to make it seem very vague who he's going to pick at the end of the day. I don't get why we are going through all this hassle when we know this man is wasting Paige's time. Lauren is checked out. Lauren is just there to be on TV. But the sad thing is Paige is still interested. And so they then have a conversation about his comment saying he gets his lick back. And initially, during his conversation with Jasmine, he had said that, what he meant was, if somebody tries to prove him wrong, he says it undermines him more or less. He works hard to prove himself, to prove that he is better than what they're saying or what they think of him. And it's like, I don't understand. I don't think he possesses the maturity to date someone who's 5 years older than him. That I can say, given the tantrum that he threw when he sat in the pool and he wouldn't come out and his mom was trying to entertain the girl. So I don't think he possesses, the qualities that are needed to sort of be in a relationship with an older woman. But at the same time, I think he shouldn't be going after Jasmine. I don't think she's the right girl for him. I feel like Paige is more it for him. And sadly, his mom sort of recommended Paige, and then he seems to be wanting to sort of go against whatever his mom recommends. So I don't know how long that's going to last. The little scene in the kitchen was just, I think the producers were being petty, and they're encouraging the conversation between Lauren and Chad in an attempt to sort of annoy Jasmine. And the fact that she kept banging the plates. Do I think Jasmine likes him? I think she's physically attracted to this man, and I think she wants to win, and that's it. And sadly, as much as he says, Lauren has the maturity to not embarrass him and sort of deal with situations better, he is going to embarrass himself. He is going to embarrass himself. And it's really sad because at the end of the day, he had an opportunity to find an amazing partner who could be uplifting for him, but he chose to go with his little Chad. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 6. Bye guys.